Welcome everybody back to My Hero Analysis Beyond the Amateur Hero Show. Every week, I forget the name of the show, even though it's not every week. It's like every 3 weeks or 4 weeks or however often we do this thing. But I'm Tom Uwatu DeGrazia, joined as always by Steph, who is in the bottom today because we have a special guest, and it is Uncle Street Fighter, who we're referring to as James in this episode.
James!
So welcome.
I kind of forgot that I put Uncle Street Fighter, and I heard it, and it was funny again.
I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic name.
It is.
All my homies like Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't like Street Fighter? I mean, come on. Right? Right?
I've never met anyone who doesn't like it, so I guess it is.
Where's the HBO Max Street Fighter movie?
Yeah, Street Fighter could use an updated movie.
A remake.
Because I would probably say, oh, hello, Mariana. We have we had a new Mortal Kombat movie, and I would probably say that of all of the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat movies, the latest Mortal Kombat movie is probably the best of all of them. Is that correct to say?
I will agree.
James, the contrarian.
I will agree that it's as good as the other ones, which is, I guess, the opposite of what you just said. But
no, I mean,
they're all silly.
Yeah. I would say before this Mortal Kombat movie, out of all of them, the old original Mortal Kombat movie was probably the best one. Mm-hmm. And I only probably put this one above it just because it's a little less cheesy, but when it does get cheesy, it's like purposefully cheesy. Like they know they're bringing the cheese, where the old one was just cheesy, and it was like, no, this is serious.
Yeah, well, the old one being a Paul W.S. Anderson movie, so those all have the same caliber.
Yeah. The second one, I don't even remember the second one all too much. Annihilation.
James Remar.
You did the real world, right? Like the real world.
Was it?
Wasn't it?
I think so. Well, the end of the first movie is fucking. Well, can I swear? I just did.
Yes.
Yeah,
we swear. It's totally fine.
Shere Khan, Shao Kahn.
Shere Khan.
Yeah, that's the snake from Jungle Book.
Tiger.
Tiger. But anyway, the big bad is coming out of the sky, and he's like, "I'll get you, Power Rangers," and they all like form up their fists and stuff.
Yeah, that's the first
second one is like it's the reverse isekai where the magical world is coming to them. It's been a while.
Yeah, I watched the first one recently, like a year ago. I have not watched the second one. I don't know why. There's no real reason for it.
No.
Umbers. James said a bad word. Well, you just said Umbers.
I don't think that'll be the last time I say a bad word tonight.
No.
This is not
You have the power to mute me, right?
No. Do
Okay.
I?
No.
I have the power to just like boot you, but that's about
Okay,
it.
yeah. You might need to use that.
No, actually, I do have the power to mute you, and I also have the power to make you the sole presenter of this entire thing.
Oh gosh.
So be careful, because I might just give you the show and just be like, James, by all means, steer the ship.
I have plugs to pull, buttons to press. My tablet's going out the window. That happens.
Just throw his computer.
I have a 7-year-old. I hear this all day. Wait, your 7-year-old swears all day?
They do.
Weird for a 7-year-old.
Do you remember being 7?
No. Do you remember being 7?
Yeah.
My little guy doesn't swear. He says, "Oh gosh," and Jilly Winkies sometimes, which is ridiculous. I don't know where he got that from.
Oh my God,
I remember being 7, but I don't remember any of the episodes that we're talking about.
You'll remember as we go
Okay.
through.
You know what? On that note, this has been a fun divergent start to the show.
Let's get talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have we're going to be covering 4 episodes tonight instead of the usual 3. And the reason for that is I would like to say it's because the 4 episodes are the end of this series, but talking to Steph, who came up with this idea, she wasn't thinking that at all prior, but it was so smart because I was like, oh yeah, these 4 episodes are the end of this batch of episodes for this this show.
Mm-hmm.
The show. of MHA. It's the end of the arc, the assault on the Yakuza compound, all that stuff. But I guess it was just a happy coincidence, which was great. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to stop where we stopped if it was just the 3 episodes anyway. So let's just dive into it. We can go off on tangents as we go, and let's do this thing. So,
I think it's just the end of like the fight with Fat Gum and what's the big guy's name with the punchy one?
Rappa.
Rappa. I don't get it. I just get it. I always call him Rampage, which is not his name. But this is the like correspondence between him and Fat Gum is like one of my favorite dialogues because Fat Gum doesn't understand why he's like, okay, let's go get first aid and like hang out basically later on, but he wants a fair fight with Kirishima. Like he looked up to him so much that he's like, I'll wait till you're healed and then we can do this again.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing that Rappa's like, no, I want a fair fight. I want to be able to like, fight these guys and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't care. Let's all go get healed. And I love Fat Gum's entire response this whole episode. He's like, wait, what? Huh? Okay. Like, you don't seem like one of these guys, but sure.
The Japanese honor.
Yeah.
This is a good point. Mariana brought up the fact that like she was shocked when that happened to Fat Gum. I think she's referring to the fact that he was able to transfer all of his fat into an onslaught, like one big attack, and use it as a big energy move. I was shocked too. Like that was a very awesome way. Like his power is amazing on one side as a shield, but this is like the whole battle of sword versus shield. But we learned that, or spear and shield. We learned that he's also a spear and a shield at the same time.
Which is fair. And then I think later on he like asks him about what the master plan is, and the Rappa just tells him because he doesn't have anything to hide, he doesn't care.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't care.
And because Overhaul's been the only, or Overjerk, I'm gonna coin that term, was the only person that's ever killed him, and then that obviously remade him and then fought him again. So
that is the shocking thing I think about it all is the fact that Overhaul like just kills people at random and then we'll just put them back together. He's like, okay, and you're fine. I can show you that with just like a little brief brush of the finger, I can blow you up into a million pieces and just bring you right back.
Be humble, but let a motherfucker know.
That's it right there. That should have been the episode title.
I think at this point,
humble.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just telling these two that they better get ready and do their job because they're now the 10th squad for the Yakuza.
10th squad.
Well,
I love how Kirishima does not know it's Fat Gum when he wakes up.
He's like, who are you?
He looks nothing like him. So Fat Gum is like this giant egg-looking orb guy, and all of a sudden it's like this like buff, I don't know, Venice Beach looking dude.
I say that every time I meet somebody. It's me, Fat.
How did that go for you?
It was a lie. I don't actually meet anybody. I'm alone.
Not these days, I'm sure.
I think this is the whole part I just described. We're going to go through these.
Well, we can cruise through them. Yeah. So, yeah, this is Rappa basically saying, let's go to the back room. You don't have enough strength.
He like knocks this guy back out.
That's right. The barrier guy was like going to try to like stop him because obviously the barrier guy is very still loyal to. He's what? Barry? It's Barry the barrier guy?
Yeah, he's Barry.
He's very loyal to Overhaul, but Rappa is not. Rappa's just loyal to these fists, and then he just wants to fight.
With Kirishima. And they do go that.
I think. Oh, no, go ahead, James.
There was a character in Twilight Princess. I don't know if you remember that game, but there was an orc that you, a moblin, whatever they were in that one. You fought him throughout the entire game, and at the end, he gives up, and he's just like, you're the best, and like, I don't know, it has that same energy of, like, he tells Link, it's very, like, honorable and whatnot. And
he's just sparring for the sake of like my whole goal is just to fight, and then you're the challenge I've been waiting for my whole life, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And he's actually
I love that in certain shows or properties that happens.
He's the first moblin to speak, and Midna is just like drops her jaw, and she's like, he said something, and it was just like, I guess they just don't talk because they're usually just fighting all the time.
Yeah,
Slight
and
little
then
tangent.
in Breath of the Wild, they kind of just make like weird like noises. Like, yeah. To Mariana's point here, where she's like, "Can we talk about how his costume doesn't fit anymore, but his mask still does?" I see that as like, he's wearing just a hoodie and pants, pretty much, which is obviously pretty stretchy. But I don't know, his mask seemed like it was like very much like spandexy material, which
like
you'd hope would like. It must be very uncomfortable when he's in his fat mode. If it still fits him just fine when he's small. But no, she's absolutely right. It's kind of funny that the mask still fits on. But that could be part of the whole thing. He's like, I know what my power set is. This is the mask that hides my identity, whatever it is. So I need to make sure it works in both forms, kind of thing. But yeah, Clark Kent logic is a thing for sure.
Much like Mirio's hat stays on when he goes through shit.
His helmet does not. No, he
does not. Yeah.
When he's about to go through a wall, he literally takes it off and gives it to somebody. Like, you got to carry this the rest of the way for me, right? Which is the dumbest costume move.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so we have Rappa basically saying that he wants to battle Kirishima more. And I believe we have Fat, who's like, you have been acknowledged by the enemy. Like, that is the biggest acknowledgement that you could possibly get.
This is that little guy's actual body, because we were wondering what he looked like.
So I'm wondering because he can like jump into anything and animate it. Like, what is the little body that he's animating most of the time? Is it just like a sack of potatoes? Like, what is it?
I'm wondering if it's the suit.
It's just like, here's a thing, jump into it. So he's always using his quirk 100% of the time, which I would think would make him like super powerful by the end of it if he's using it constantly.
I mean, he's definitely ruthless and pretty quick. So
yes, but a lot of this stuff that we see in like him using his powers at this point is all drug fueled. So I wonder what.
Stuffed animal. So very honest as in there.
Oh yeah, no, or a ball joint. I don't even think he needs to have it be a ball jointed doll. He could be a stuffed animal because like once he can animate it, like the walls don't have arms, but he acts like they do. He's sending columns out and stuff like that. So it could just be a stuffed animal. Why not? Don't put your body at risk. There you go. There's your over jerk.
Yeah.
Over jerk.
He's gonna go through this one, and then I think we get some more Toga and Twice going on for this part.
Get a little bit of Rock Lock, who's locking down the walls right now.
Yeah, which is really cool.
He has an awesome power. It's like anybody who has like a power of time stoppage or slowing down time or stuff like that, it's just really kind of freaking cool. And Rocklock is great, and I love we get a little bit of his backstory in this episode too.
Yeah, about why he was being so rough, and I was acknowledging that, and now he's acknowledging Deku for going off and making sure Mirio's okay and continuing on.
Yeah,
I think they get separated here pretty quick.
Yeah, basically, this is when the little, I forget his name, it's like Joy or something like that. He's like basically trying to go all out to stop these people from going further because he hasn't been able to stop anyone yet. So he's just like, well, might as well. And I believe even like we jump to Overhaul, who's like, oh, he's like left all caution behind. He's really going like all out right now. He's like usually super cautious.
I also think it was funny that they only had Deku for like strength powers, basically, to crush these walls. Like everyone else is like, what are we gonna do?
I don't think they were expecting it either. Like every time Deku jumped out and like was kicking walls and getting exhausted because he's constantly like jumping and kicking, like everybody's like, whoa, this kid. And
I think this is when they get like broken up. I don't know who's first, Twice or Toga, but both of them have like really good interactions with the other heroes, which I found entertaining.
They really do.
Oh, definitely Toga.
Yep.
Her fight scene for this entire part and with Aizawa later is like one of the coolest fight scenes I've seen in a long time. Like the way she moves around, even with Aizawa, who's supposed to be really like he can sense things and move around freely. She got the best of him.
I love this because it shows that Toga, whose powers she's not putting on display at all at this point, right? We haven't seen her use it. Well, we saw her use it. We haven't seen her use it in like an actual battle against the heroes up until like this episode. But we don't know, like, oh, she's just a girl, right? Like, what is she gonna like? Just a normal person. What is she gonna be able to do against these pro heroes who have been training forever? And then we learn, like Harley Quinn, right? Who dashes around and can fight and hold her own against Batman, who's trained against like every assassin in the world. Toga is taking on all these heroes and like stabbing them repeatedly and like really doing an amazing number on them. And it's kind of amazing. Like, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very good point Mariana brings up, is like a lot of people to this point had seen Deku from the tournament, the games that they had at the school. And then so when they saw Deku breaking through walls, they weren't realizing that, oh, this kid's actually kind of competent. He doesn't explode on like a limb every time he uses his power anymore.
Yeah, I guess Aizawa was the only one that really knows what's going on for like regular training.
Yeah, and the other kids, but yeah.
This part was like seamless. I couldn't even capture it. Like she was a twice person, and then she came out of nowhere to stab him, take his identity, basically.
Yep, and what a smart scene. And man, poor Rocklock.
Lucky, you mean?
I mean, he's lucky he wasn't paralyzed, but if you're talking about lucky being stabbed by your crush, no. No.
Well, she like stabbed him through the hand, and he locked the knife in place in his own body. Like, it was so cool. The whole sequence, anyway.
He's a badass. I love that.
This is when she's like going after Deku, like, because she's all excited to see him, and then he erases her powers, which makes her turn out of Rocklock and turn,
What is? I need to know more about this, Mariana. What are you referring to about? Isn't that because of Toga's quirk?
She fights so well.
Is it though? I mean, she just. I mean, I guess maybe because she could. Because when she becomes someone else, she can use their power. So maybe she like, or what they've learned and stuff like that. So maybe she becomes like an amazing fighter because of like her adopting people who do fight really well. That would make a lot of sense. I didn't know that was the case. Yeah. Like some of that information is retained. That would be great. So she's basically like a taskmaster more like than even a rogue.
That would make her almost crazy invincible later on too.
Yeah, well, yes,
pretty much.
I love his reaction to her.
And then he remembers her name, so that it makes it even worse because she's just so excited.
My boyfriend.
Yeah.
I love that. She's like, I'm so happy. She gets ripped away by Aizawa.
I like that he clothed her too. He was just like, okay.
Yep. I'm using all of my coils except for the one around my neck. Yeah. This is the first time that they realize that it's not just the Yakuza that they're after. The League of Villains is definitely playing a role in this whole scenario. And then, Deku's thinking about, oh shit, the League of Villains is here. Aizawa said if the League of Villains show up, he's going to take us out of it. Like, none of the kids are going to be able to help, kind of thing. But also, things are so goddamn dire at this point. There's no way Aizawa's going to be like, let's take away any like possible like person helping out in this scenario, because they have lost way more than they planned.
I think after that she gets away, and then she's obviously very happy that she got to see Deku again.
James, I was when I was going through the screens for this episode, I wanted to keep this slide in because I thought that that line plus you just
it speaks for itself.
Yes, it does. Let's just leave it at that.
There you go.
This part though was really, really well done. Like the fact that they actually explained the League of Villains and why it's cohesive and how they kind of bonded together. And it's because of Shigure actually finding them important, which I believe Overhaul does not find his men important. He uses them as pawns, but they're not like somebody that
serve a role. Yeah.
No, he doesn't get upset when it happens. I think earlier on, Toga and Twice actually correct Overhaul too, because they make fun of Magne. So,
this is the first time we get to see freaking Sir Night-Eye, like blowing past everybody's expectation of this dude in the suit. right?
Yeah.
Like he's just like this uptight looking dude, just like what was this like beanpole gonna do against Rappa, who's like this giant monstrosity of a man coming in to like, punch some people into pulp. But Night Eye takes care of him real quick.
Judo flip.
But it's funny because I like Twice's reaction. Oh, a businessman! I got the perfect role for a hero to go beat. It was like,
Yep.
oh my god.
But then like when Rappa gets like knocked back, he's like he like does like a double take, like Rappa's down and this guy did it. Wait, Rappa's down and this guy?
Nani?
Nani?
Yeah.
Nani?
I
love
want to know
his.
how much these weigh. They must use
He's-
something to activate him, or else he's just that. I don't
He
know.
says that they weigh. Like he actually gives you the weight.
Yeah, but they can't be stored on him at that weight if they're going to knock somebody down.
I mean, he says that they're stored at that weight.
So
So
he's
like,
just that crazy strong.
Dwarf star pocket inlays.
yeah, right, something like that.
Yeah, just crazy.
Maybe they're activated when they touch each other or something like that, and like so he
Yeah.
knows or something. I don't know, but they're really cool, and I love how he's like, after he describes the whole thing, he's like humorous, right?
Mhm.
He's not humorous at all.
I think this is when he realizes that Rappa melts right away. So he's like, everything's useless. But his reaction just when he realizes, like, I don't want to be here. This is stupid. Basically, the two of them.
I
Oh,
forget who rips open his mask.
it was
Do you remember?
Night Eye with his little he got hit with one of the weights.
Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah, and we all know from the episode about Twice is like without his mask, he feels like his brain is splitting in two. His mask is the only thing that kind of keeps him feeling sane, which creates a really adorable moment later on. Well, not later, but
like right after this.
yeah, right after this is there you go. It happened. Yeah, super cute.
Yeah, and she's like, "You need this."
I love these two together a lot.
I think the whole time he's like, "Oh," calls her wifey. The rest of the time.
It is funny because he like how Twice speaks twice about everything, and like the one of the Twices is always hitting on Toga like constantly, like.
Mhm.
And the other one is just like very matter of fact, like, okay, let's get this job done. And it's like, it's really cute. So clearly she knows like his intention. And it's just, I don't know, it makes it super cute between them.
I love bad guys that like aren't meanies.
Mhm.
They're I don't know. They're just broken.
Yeah, that's totally Twice, right? He's not a meanie at all. He's just,
And Toga.
yeah.
Toga's a little.
James.
It's like saying Tamura is like a little broken.
Yeah.
She'll kill someone, so it's just one of those things.
Some people.
I do like their Arkham Asylum logic, where they're like, we're not playing this game anymore because it looks like you guys are gonna lose, and then we don't get what we were told we were gonna get, so we're gonna do our own thing now.
I want to put up Mariana's last comment, but I'm going to save it just because it like talks about some stuff that we might get to later on.
We might get to it.
Oh no, we will, but we're like a season and a half away, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and this is like kind of like the back when Tamura's talking to him, and they're trying to figure out why he's sending them over there since they're like important pieces, and then he kind of just tells them he trusts them, and that was all they needed.
Yeah, this whole scenario is basically them. Yeah, exactly. Like they don't know why. They're like, you have to come up with a good reason why. Like you're sending us. I thought we joined you because we believe you. We believe in this mission. We believe this. Like, why would you send us there? And he says, like, I don't trust Overhaul.
Yeah.
I trust you guys to do what you guys are here to do, pretty much. Like do what you feel you want to do. Like I love that he gives them the agency to do what they desire to do, and which is the whole reason why I feel like especially Toga joined up with him. She's he even says it, like, I want to be able to do what I want to do, essentially. And she gets that freedom, and like this is the first time we see Tamura basically say that and like give them that like something to be prideful in their relationship with him.
Yeah. I like how he took his like little hand off too, so he could actually look at them, and they were all like, "Ah."
Yeah, like, put it back on. Put it back on.
But it was very endearing even for villains. They were having their little family moment.
I adore. Yeah, these two are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that. I love them. That's why I
Where's the-
desperately want a Twice figure. But continue, James.
Where's the Don Presto of that? Like just
Right?
this, both of them in pose. Like I want that life size in my living room.
I love too when they do them like when they're both falling through the floor and they show that one scene where they kind of look like you know when it's like a record and you have like one side going this way and the other side going that way. They kind of like did a yin yang drawing of them kind of like spinning around each other. Like that would be a really cute something too. But this would make a perfect Man Presto statue.
Yeah.
Because they're standing on a platform together and everything. And actually, you know what? Because it's two of them, that's definitely more of a Kotobukiya, so a little more Doja. But I would rather the price point of a Man Presto.
Seriously, I was just gonna make that point.
Yeah, I love them. They're great.
They just make fun of him enough where he gets mad and then basically gets seen by Eraserhead.
Yep. Well, they keep being like the Yakuza are useless. They're all so useless, like constantly badgering this dude.
This is like how it ends.
I wish I had the power to zoom in on Toga's little squish face, the little like bean face in that last one. I love a low res Toga.
You love
that one?
Yeah. Low res Toga.
Low res Toga. That's it. All right. So we had this episode there pretty much. Well, not here, but Inaka is his name. Inaki?
Uranaka, yeah.
Uranaka.
R in there somewhere.
He's just basically he's at his boiling point. And basically all of the whole underground is just going bananas right now because he's going bananas. Yeah. Yeah, this is unfortunately not a safe space to talk about the manga stuff, but this is just the anime up to the point that we've seen it so far. But yeah, good stuff. I'm excited for this season. We're going to get a lot of these guys, and I'm very excited for it. So, James, do you have a favorite moment from this past episode?
I'm gonna say you made it my favorite by zooming into the low res Toga there. But I guess like the connection of Toga and Twice and like their kind of revelation of the manifesto, like that they're not meanies.
Yeah,
I'll stand by Toga is not a meanie. She's just differently sane,
Steph?
I'm gonna go with Rocklock's little part because I really, really, really like that. Even him getting stabbed in the hand, I remember like stopping it right at that point. I'm like, that is really cool. Like to think about how I'm gonna have to like touch something to stop it. And he's just like, all right, let's do this and then move on. So it's in the kind of his interactions with everybody too. Plus, we don't really get to see him too much later on. So
no, we don't, and like that's even one of the reasons why. Like, I think it's the beginning of the second movie. Starts off with like Rocklock like helping out Endeavor and whatnot, and I'm like, I love just getting the little extra glimpse of Rocklock because we don't get as much of them. Like all the pros that we don't get more of in the series. I'm like, I love get like little extra glimpses of them, and it's great. So this is. This is adorable. I was going to say, like, yeah, I can't forget about Kirishima. Like the whole beginning part. Like I love Kirishima getting acknowledged by Rappa and Fat Gum saying that, and like Kirishima forgetting who Fat Gum was or not knowing who he was, which was a nice comedic break. My favorite moment though was definitely Tamura saying that he trusts them.
Yeah,
like I don't know, like. I think a good series is defined by how good your villains are. And if your villains aren't good, it's not going to be a good enough foil to like. You want to be invested in the villains just as much as you want to be invested in the heroes. And this series definitely does that for me. And this is like kind of the start of that. And we'll get to see that blossom more and more as like we get a little bit more of them. But like just showing, because like before this, it was like he hated all the people that kind of came in that Stain brought to his doorstep. He's like, I don't need all these people. And we're seeing a change into more. We're kind of seeing him being more dependent on all these other people, and it brings like a different weight to that whole League of Villains, which I loved. You guys discuss amongst yourself. I got to get the screens for the second episode set up. Half a second.
No. Discuss the next episode coming up.
I discuss whatever you want. You could talk about potato chips for all I care.
We didn't
really.
get to talk about Night Eye without his shirt on and how awesome he looks better than Fat Gum, so we're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about. Wait, what are we, why are we talking about Night Eye and how awesome he looks better shirt on? You know what? How's this? Why don't we just jump right into?
We'll just go back into Toga.
I mean, I was going to bring it back to Toga anyway. We all know that. How cute is she in her like wrapped up bandages and stuff, like that bandage outfit?
Yeah.
Toga in her bandage outfit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his eyes all wrapped her up.
Oh, yes.
Like, I want a figure of that. It's just like it's aesthetically pleasing, you know, for reasons, but also because of like the colors, like that like sunflower hair.
I'm
or,
all
like,
for the shirtless discussion. Yes, Mariana.
Okay, well, the ladies are thirsty for Night Eye and James is thirsty for Toga. I say we
Get a
let's
drink.
keep moving. Well, I'm
Well,
thirsty
this is
for this
when
episode.
this is when they talk about Sister Mags as they said him, and then they're like, you mean her, and both Twice and Toga took it very, very offensively, as they should. So this part was just Overhaul being over jerk again. So
Yeah, I mean, I will, to Overhaul's credit, he did not know. You know, I feel like, you know, everybody's in the learning position, and he also did not take it as a "what are you talking about" kind of thing. He was just like, okay. He saw it as a very matter of fact. He wasn't like, it wasn't a negative thing. They corrected them. I liked how stern they were about it, and he just like took it like, okay, all right, let's continue on. I want to know more about you guys, though. We're here to talk about you guys. Oh, in the wrong.
Infinite Night Eye.
We'll get to shirtless Night Eye. It'll happen. It's just going to happen.
It's coming up pretty soon. So it's just like
It's coming, and then everybody else will also be coming. It's fine.
I'm already wearing off on the hosts.
Oh my goodness. This is just a good screen because they're going to go fight together. They're on the same team. I'm assuming that this Yakuza guy is in
Pokemon battle.
Oh,
Okay.
this is when they asked them what their quirks were, and the first time they were like, "I don't have to tell you anything." And then the guy who like makes them talk, Twice did his first, and then she was looking at him like, "Why did you do that?" And then
She's like, "You're making me look like an idiot or something like that." Like, I forget exactly what word she said, but I loved how she's like, "You're making me look bad," pretty much. Like, what am I to you? Like, it's just some dumbass. And when she gets hit with the same wave, she gets all excited about it. She's like, "I drink a lot of blood."
yeah.
I drink blood. A lot of it.
Yeah. A lot of it, and you know, she talks about her whole like being naked and being uncomfortable and all that other stuff. It's like, it's a really kind of a cute thing.
Oh, and then we gotta get back to this point where the guy's getting really upset, and they're just kind of chilling. So
Wow. Okay, I need to unpack this just a little bit because I like Overhaul as a villain, but he's more of a classic. Just you want to hate this villain. Like, but I like him because he is a very classic, like, he does despicable things. He has his own reasons for it. So, like, you kind of understand why he does these despicable things, but they're so despicable that it doesn't matter his reasons, he's still a villain. So I need to know by far your least favorite villain ever in pretty much anything. I want to unpack this more, Mariana, please. Give me more.
Mine is Purple Man from Jessica Jones Netflix.
And you know what? Here's the thing. You don't need to go more into that because I know exactly why he's like, he's despicable.
Yep.
I think he's even worse in the comics because they take it the step beyond. You know, they were kind of oddly, they were tame on that show, I think, a little bit. You know? But yes.
we'll figure it out here.
People being despicable.
I think there's just more smashing is what's going to happen for the next few screens.
All the smash.
Oh, and then they found him.
Yep. Oh, that's right. Because I think it's Toga and Twice are basically getting him to talk a little bit, and because he's making noise, Deku notices him, and Deku like jumps up, smashes the wall in front, which exposes him. Therefore, Aizawa can finally see him and shut down his powers.
Yeah.
But it was smart because, like, yeah, the League of Villains definitely helped bring the Yakuza down here.
And I think they switch sides at this point too. They decide they're gonna help the greater bad or something in that regard. And then we get to, I don't even know what to call him because he's so cool in this whole episode.
Lemillion.
Yeah. He needs like superhero of the year or something crazy because this is like, I remember this part after I watched this episode. I rewatched this episode one more time again just because it was so good.
Yeah.
It's just
When
like,
he holds his breath and just like dives into the wall sideways, it's like one of the coolest fucking things.
yeah.
Yeah. And Overhaul basically being like,
He's good at
yes, he's good at being awful,
Mhm.
at being the fucking worst. And I mean, okay, here we go. Let's see. I've been waiting to unpack this just a little bit. This is the perfect time. So,
Yeah.
because his reasoning is just childish, selfish. I mean, I feel like it's almost an excuse. So, like Moriarty, he's evil for the sake of being evil, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Overhaul is just evil for the sake of being evil?
That's a pretty big conversation to get into. Morality.
Yeah.
I think for Overhaul, that gets started as him wanting to pay back the master, and then it turned into something worse.
Yeah.
And then he didn't realize why everybody else didn't want to just lay it all out in the line for the master because they took him in. And so after a while, he just didn't see why just hurting this one girl was going to be not okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think you got it there, and I would just add in it's like the whole thing where almost like Stain, like his method to bring down superhero society as a whole was a way to kind of like shake things up and bring the Yakuza back on top, but all for the guy who basically gave him his life. He was doing it all for that guy, which could be seen as childish, but I've never been in the position where I was on the streets and being like pushed down by society and no one wanted me anymore, and then all of a sudden like someone gives you a helping hand.
Yeah.
So you feel like you owe that person everything in the world, and you'll do everything, is even destroying and rebuilding. But in his mind, he's destroying, but he's also rebuilding this child and giving her, so he doesn't see it as a painful thing because he's not on the receiving end of his own power, even though like they all feel the excruciating pain of being exploded and being rebuilt. And it's freaking terrible. It's like, I don't know, like Doctor Strange dying 1,000 deaths or something like that to take down Dormammu at the end of the Doctor Strange movie and stuff like that. I always find like those story beats to be so profound. And like when it happens to Eerie, it's like, and you understand why she feels so abused because she has been abused. And like you kind of understand why she like returns back to Overhaul when he calls to her. Like, of course, she's been conditioned that way.
And he put him in a coma for safekeeping, basically. Like,
that's it. He put him in a coma because he's like, you don't see the future benefit of what I'm trying to do, but I will get to that point and then I'll bring you back and then you'll see that I did this all for you. Like he's already unhinged and crazy. So like it's
childish
that like
in the dad syndrome kind of thing.
Yes. So I like Overhaul's reasoning. It is childish, but it's childish in a way where all the scenarios and all the things that happen to him make sense why he reacts this way, in my mind at least. I mean, like everybody's going to interpret it differently. That's kind of the great thing about this kind of medium. But yeah.
And it all comes down to point of views and experiences, personal experiences. Like you can't really say that somebody's reasoning is evil or selfish because like you aren't thinking as them. You can certainly have your opinions on if something is evil or not, but I don't know, it's so nebulous.
Yes, everybody like the
Morality
smallest
is-
detail, right? Like even pumping your gas, the way you pump your gas is going to be different than the guy next to you because you are basing how you do that on your wealth of information up until that point in your time in life, right? It's like every little thing is based on that way, and the same thing with you're saying morality, like that's like the grandest scale of them all. Like your entire life kind of like leads you down that path, and like so we got glimpses of Overhaul's past and what would lead him down that path. We're not getting his whole story. Like you kind of have to fill in those blanks a little bit more on your own. And so like based on what we got, I can see why he went the way he went. Plus also his power is I think if I had a power that was so absolute as his is to destroy and rebuild, like that is godlike power. And when you have godlike power, I feel like your view on the world is entirely different. Like what it's like having an undo button. So I love doing my photo edits on a digital program because I have an undo button, right? And it's kind of that godlike power, but in like a digital form. It's like I can do anything I want, hit undo, reset, try it again. This guy has that with fucking life. Like, can you imagine that? Like, you would have such a skewed personality on how to like what morality actually is that it's like I couldn't fathom the way he thinks.
Almost like a psychological version of Cardboard World or Cardboard Earth.
Totally that.
Like, what are morals?
And do they apply to someone who has that power to be like, well, I mean, if that didn't work out, I'll just destroy it all and try again. Why not? Like, you don't agree with me. Well, what if I blow you up and then put you back together? Do you agree with me now? Because now you see what I'm dealing with on a daily basis, kind of deal. So,
and then you get into like cognitive dissonance too, and it's like it's such a huge discussion, and it kind of might be like the ultimate discussion. But
and almost kind of I wonder for like Tamura not being able to rebuild it, if that's why he's so like just doomed.
I think it's why he's a little bit, I want to say anarchy. I don't think that's the word. Anarchy. He's tuned more to anarchy than anything else because he is just an agent of destruction. Really,
he is chaos. Like, you know.
But whereas Overhaul can turn that chaos into something else. Like he doesn't just have to rebuild your body. He could take your body after it's been exploded and build it into something else. He can make you into a fucking windmill if he really wanted to, or whatever. Like it doesn't really matter. Like he's working on an atomic scale that's just like I can't fathom what's going through his mind because I don't have absolute godlike power like he does. It's nuts.
And if you can turn somebody into a windmill, like what are morals?
Yeah.
Like, what is anything beyond that? You know,
I think that kind of like disassociates you from society as a whole, right? Because you kind of like don't fit into what society says is society at that point. You're like, well, this is your rules and regulations. Well, I have an ability that allows me to kind of skirt around the outside of that and build my own. So therefore, that applies to the riffraff, not to me. So yeah, your morals are completely different at that point.
Morals are almost like they're moot, and consequence is the new like moral scale.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I think like with this conversation is one of the reasons why I like Overhaul as a character. Granted, we don't get a whole hell of a lot of him. We get him this season and this season only. And it would have been great to kind of like he is a character that could have been the Tamura. Like he could have been like the big villain for this whole series in the back end, but no, he's like I don't want to say throwaway villain, but he kind of is. He's kind of just a half a season villain in a way.
He doesn't learn, I think, is also the thing too. Like Tamura at least is growing. He's realizing that people are valuable and that they're going to help him in his cause. I mean, he could easily have just like destroyed all of them and said, "Okay, I'm going to move on and get some new henchmen." But he like is growing as a person too.
Yep. And I think you and Mariana both agree exactly based on what she wrote here below, which is like, because Shigaraki can't take anything back, which makes him more of a tortured soul. Like I can see how he ended up the way he did. And like, totally. It's like, he's not playing with the deck that Overhaul was given from birth. Like Overhaul was like, hey, you can do anything you fucking want. Tomorrow's like, I kill. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to go into that yet.
No.
That's a conversation for tomorrow.
And with that,
Uh,
let's move on.
I think it's just the screens of the two people coming up to fight Mario. So the guy, confession, this is quirk, which, a 4. How did you figure that out?
Yeah. I like Slosh too.
He's
This guy's
so
power is
cool.
great. Yeah. And I love that he kind of hangs from the ceiling and he's just hammered, constantly drinking.
Because he
Yeah,
has
what a
to.
cool, man. He would be a great person to have at like a bar. Like if he's just like, if I were a bar, I would hire him to be like, just come here, be hammered. Because when people are hammered, they just want to kind of keep drinking and keep going. Like, yeah, they'll buy all the stuff. And when they walk out the door, they won't be nearly as hammered. Suddenly, really had 2 beers and he could like take his power back. And all of a sudden, like, oh, go ahead, you can go home now. You're fine. But you had a good time while you were here. I don't know. I feel like some casino should hire him.
A themed izakaya or whatever they're called in Japan. They're one of those bars.
What kind of bar is that?
Oh, where they have the themes. He could be the theme of that bar.
Is that like the maid cafes and stuff like that?
Yeah, host clubs and
Hostess clubs. Yeah.
Pokemon Cafe.
I didn't catch when his head goes through there when he holds his breath and does his little thing. But this fight sequence, the Phantom Threat is actually a really cool move too.
Yeah, his power leads to awesome names, and I love how he yells "power" the whole time. He does.
Yeah.
Power! So good. I want to. Seeing this fight, I was like, I need a Mario figure like yesterday, please. Thank you.
Yeah. I said that out loud while I was watching this. I'm like, he needs to be a figure. I don't understand why he's not.
Like, oh my god, because I got the Bakugo Revoltech. I'm like, give me a Mario Revoltech. I mean, keep the cape. I'll buy my own wired separate cape. It's fine. I know Revoltech, you suck at making capes and cloth and stuff like that. It's fine. Just give me the figure. Give me the faces. Man, so good.
I think it's coming. I think you got a good chance to get one.
I hope so too. Yeah, he's a big enough character in this show.
And his look is just iconic. Like, that looks like a figure.
What does this mean? You don't have any of his scales? Are these statues? I
have his Van Presto. Yeah.
I don't have any of the Banprestos. I like the 2 that have come out so far, but I'm just waiting for a figure, really, or like even a Nendo, which I guess are figures too.
I guess.
He just has to have ab crunch. Because Mario has to come in way different poses than a lot of other people.
All right, tangent for just a brief second. Let's go on this Nendo tangent just so I can complain about the amazing Captain America that they just did for Sam Wilson.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's amazing from top to fucking bottom, except the fact that he does not have an ab crunch, and I wanted to throw my phone across the room because he's perfect, but he's a solid brick in the center, and I'm like, God damn it, he's perfect except for that.
And that would really help with flying poses. So
it really would. Like the flying poses they have him in are great, but he's not gonna be able to like look down while he's flying, or like you have that like nice arched back when you're really kind of taking off. Yeah. So whatever. It's still I'm still gonna buy it because he looks amazing. So whatever.
Yeah. After watching that series, I really wanted a new Cap.
Yeah. Yes, he's an amazing Cap. I can't wait for more.
Mm-hmm. This is just him fighting. This is like a lot of, like you said, screens of like some really cool action poses and everything going on.
Yep.
And basically Overhaul this entire time telling Mario that she doesn't want to be saved by you. You already like messed it up, and like Mario basically telling him to F off. I'm going to take care of it anyway.
And doing it in a way where like impressing the villains as he's fighting them. Like he kicks a dude holding Eerie by kicking through. He goes intangible through Eerie, makes his leg solid just as it connects with the dude's the time guy's head, and like knocks him out and catches Eerie in like, oh, so good. And
he punches through Overhaul's arm
exactly
and then hits him in the face.
Overhaul can't catch him because it's like, oh, I'll just destroy you as soon as you get over here. And he just like goes through his hand, but then re-solidifies his fist after it went through to knock him in the face. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Late title card. Is it late or we
It's
just
real
spent
late. It's like in the
time-
middle.
Okay, I was like, or do we just spend so much time talking about Overhaul that it just felt late?
Yeah. I think a lot of these are jumbled too, right?
Are they?
Yeah, it's all right.
Let's see. I kind of want to know. This is. Oh yeah. This happened way earlier. Sorry guys, my new computer is not treating these slides the way I would have liked, and I gotta just go through and reorganize them earlier. Because like this, I think is way later.
This is right before he gets punched in the face, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because he's trying to go all out.
We can talk about it. We know what happens, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is right before he, like the next slide, I think, is him getting hit in the face through the head. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff right there.
And to think, I have to say, like the writer of this manga, to think of permeation is like something that's going to be this guy's power and how cool it's going to look is just so good.
I feel like Horikoshi read X-Men and was like, I want to take like Kitty Pryde and to her, like her limit kind of thing. Like this is the stuff you can do with that, because like his whole when last season at the end of the season where they kind of described him like sinking into the ground and how like the atoms in the ground sees him being there as displacing himself if he re-solidifies, and instead of like solidifying him into the wall, it's like no. The way how atoms would work is they would repel, so like it repels him out like at a tremendous speed, which makes it look like he's teleporting places. But when he's down there, because he's in, anytime he like goes intangible, he can't see because his eyes like also go intangible. So there's no like light refracting off of his like his lenses. So he's blind, he's deaf, and so he kind of has to like take perfect surveillance of the battlefield before he goes underground. And it really makes Mirio to be like an insane character.
And this shot is just so manga.
This shot is so manga. I agree. This is such a blanket statement, Mariana, that I need to know more about which artist drew Mirio. Do you know,
I didn't
Steph?
see that.
Oh, I'm going to leave it up. Mariana, get back to us on which artist, because I would like to know. Oh, Eri-chan.
I think their interactions between Eri, Deku, and Mirio during this entire fight sequence are just like, it's heartwarming, and it's what she needed.
Yeah.
And now we're going back to his like little backstory and talking to him.
Yep.
And the guy trusted him with Eri too. Like it's his granddaughter. He's like, you have the same kind of quirk. You're supposed to help her. And then instead he was ridiculous.
He helped her by helping himself, really. Is this a jump? I feel like this is a jump.
It's a little bit of a jump, yeah.
Right.
This is the point where like they threw the bullet to this guy who's been Overhaul's cheerleader for like this whole episode,
and he got smashed into like look at the way how his mask looks, and he's like crying outside of his broken mask. Like this boy has been shattered.
He was smart enough though to know not to shoot Mirio because it was going to miss anyways, but to.
Which I was shocked by, because like he wasn't there for the battle. He did not see. I mean, I guess he did. He saw Mirio diving into the wall earlier because he got punched by that, but he wasn't here. Like I don't know. There's a couple moments in this battle that I questioned like how people reacted. Like Mirio getting shot by this. Mirio doesn't know what's in these bullets, to my knowledge. But when he gets shot by it, he knows what has happened. Maybe it's because there's a change in his biology so he like realizes it, but I don't know.
Sun Eater got shot, and he's aware of that they have him, so maybe
he's aware that there's a temporary thing, but not a permanent, like all time thing.
And maybe he has it activated right now, like so much that it was shocking to him because he's been phasing in and out and fighting so much that I would think that he's just on. Like to the T, like awesome, and then he's like, "Whoa, that's different." Now I can't feel where we're going with that. So
yep. Though it's, I know Jorge Jimenez. Well, you said Marvel or DC, so Jorge Jimenez is DC. I'll have to look that up or send it to me, Mariana. So I want to see it. More drawings of superhero Tintin, please.
We'll see.
This, I think, took place before he got shot because he did. They had a whole discussion about the cape and how like he used the cape to disillusion the people, like thinking that he was there when they were shooting at him. But yet he kind of protected Eerie with it, like, or to like misjudge where his body was behind, like in the cape, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
I just like that his dad is ridiculous looking.
Pointy hair, pointy nose.
Mm-hmm. And then this is without his quirk.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, well, this is such a good drawing of Mirio.
And Overhaul's impressed this entire time.
Until he stabs him in the stomach.
Well, what else is he gonna do? The guy won't stop.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what a rough.
And it ends on this note.
Ends on after he stabs him through, it looks like Overhaul's gonna like put the final stamp of "you dead" on the scenario, and then Deku goes bursting through the wall. So shit's about to go down.
That cape's important though for the next 2 episodes too.
It is. It's very important for the next 2 episodes. This point. So, favorite moment.
I think just Mirio in general, like that entire fight sequence is like one of the best in the series. At least the best use of a quirk. Like
yeah, good stuff. I liked Mirio's dad's like French animation, 70s comic nose.
Yeah.
We didn't really go into like how his dad gave up being a hero because the quirk was too hard. And then since Mirio was so ecstatic about being a hero, he decided to support him regardless, which is why they're like kind of sitting through all that stuff and going through everything. And Mirio's thinking about all of that as he's realizing he doesn't have a quirk anymore.
I think it's kind of great, like that we get that little lesson into, his dad has permeation, why his dad didn't be a hero, because exactly, it's the difficulty of it all. It's like, this is too much. So, and Mariana said, Mario's fighting was seamless. It's great. It kind of speaks to him as a whole, as a character, because like he had to train to make it seem that seamless and be that awesome.
It's also thanks to Night Eye, because you find out later that both of them have the same kind of like fighting style of how they're kind of unpredictable, and Overhaul even comments on it.
I love all the family stuff in this show, with the parents and whatnot.
Yeah, me too, actually. Especially like when we get back to like the Shoto family stuff, like I don't know, all the Shoto family stuff is like one of the biggest stuff, and like stuff with Deku and his mom and things like that, and like we're getting with Mirio and his dad. Like the family stuff is great. Knowing that quirks are passed down, we kind of learn in this past episode, Eerie's quirk is one of those like 1 in a million chance where it's like it's a mutation. Like her quirk isn't that of her parents at all. It was just like a fluke. Like all of a sudden, boom, she was born with this horn that can rewind people. And it's like it's more than what I don't know what her parents' quirk are. They never kind of go into that either. But now she's like crazy powerful as a fluke. No one expected it, so they weren't ready for that shit.
I feel like Eraserhead's power was the same way, because he's so rare too that he probably is not a passed down thing. It's probably something that happened.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know. We don't get to learn that, which kind of sucks. Like that's why I want more. I want My Hero to go on forever, because I want to learn all the stuff about everybody.
I want a secondary reboot with just the 1B kids, so you go back through the same like the side by side with their.
That would be cool. I'd be down for. I would read the reboot story, not a reboot, but I'd read
a side quote.
Yeah,
yes, a side quote. Yeah, yes, a sister story, as it were. I believe.
Because they're always off doing other things,
if you will.
A what?
A B series, if you will.
Oh, for 1B, B series. I like it. Be serious now. James, do you have a favorite? Okay, favorite moments that we just said it was everybody kind of agreed it was just Mirio's fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
like the standout. Plus, that we went on a tangent for a while, and I don't remember a lot.
Yeah, he definitely went on a tangent. Yeah, I think Mirio's fight was amazing. A miniseries. I like how Mariana, when she recommends the stuff, she's like, "I know exactly the number of volumes it should be. It should be 4 volumes. Perfect. Done." Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I'd be down for that.
Hmm.
Oh, gotta fix myself. I would love it. I mean, I love
And
Vigilantes because we get that.
yeah, I want animated Vigilantes.
Yeah, we get a little bit extra Aizawa history there, which is great. So yeah, give me more, give me more. But until then, let's jump back in. And I reorganized this, so I made sure while we were talking, this is in order this time. So
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So we're back in the overhaul, talking to Murio, basically trying to put him down even more. And right before Deku comes, save the day, jumps in and basically makes. I think Murio actually relaxes a little bit when they show up finally.
Yeah, I think so too, because he doesn't have to be on. I think he like recognizes he understands the strength that Night Eye brings with him. He doesn't know Deku yet, kind of in that way, but it's just he believes in them being able to stand up while he kind of can falter finally.
I think this is back when they captured the wall guy, and they're trying to get him to move stuff around. And I was like, I don't think it's going to work. The drugs are not working anymore, so he's just kind of there. And so they have to figure out a way to get to Murio. I can't even speak right now. So,
Mario.
And I think Mario. I think Rocklock is one that tells them to hurry up and keep going and just let the police deal with the League of Villains.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly. He's like, if we stop now, then all of this will have been for nothing. Like, Mirio's ahead. He's going to need backup. Just kind of keep going on, pretty much. James, it looks like you have something to say about the screen.
She's just so squishy.
Okay.
She got squishy face.
We're going to move on. All right. Yes. And Rocklock, basically tells Deku, we're here for a purpose. It's to save that girl. And Deku shouts back the reassurance, because we learn a little bit. I think we have screens for it. We learn a little bit about Rocklock's history in this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wife and a new baby. I like how she says too, genetics went one way, and I was like, oh.
It's adorable. Yeah, their kid is super cute.
It's a little Rock Junior.
Yeah. I like it. I also love that his little windmill just has keys.
Mm-hmm.
His expression reminds me of the Busta Rhymes music video, Give Me Some More, when Busta Rhymes is dressed up like a baby. Oh, just reminds me of that.
I guess he looks like adult Rocklock, but as a baby, so I can totally see that.
He's got little keyholes on his pajamas too.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Like all the key motif in this is amazing, and the locks. I wonder if the mama has powers or not. Like what the baby will wind up with.
I don't know.
She's so thirsty for beat up Izuku. I can totally see this too. Mario says he reminds me of Boondocks. I totally get that.
I gotta watch that again.
Oh my goodness. This part is just Twice and her trying to get back, and they decide they're going to help. And I think that's where they get back up to the surface, right? For their little plan that they're going to do.
Yeah, they start. I believe Twice hatches this plan in his mind, and he's like, "This is a good plan. I'll whisper it to you." And then she's like, "Ooh, I like that," and Tamora would like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then they get there. I forgot Aizawa was with them during this first part.
Yeah, right. It's funny that he leads with a fist too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess because he's been kicking this whole time. So,
But he can use his fists. He just can't, use them all the time.
There's a good screen coming up later too, because when he starts using One for All too much, his gloves explode. Because I think Hatsune even told him that they won't use too much power. You can't go too crazy.
We were talking about this before, but like the animation of him just heavy breathing, and like of course there's a car alarm going off. Kind of looks like I'm bobbing my head to a car alarm.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, the animation. This is super fluid, and it's just like it's beautiful. Of Mirio just like being exasperated and is like, Eerie is behind me, and like when he falls kind of to the side, it reveals Eerie back there wrapped in his cape.
Yeah, and the Night Eye and them, like, it's very All Might and Deku. Like, they have like that same bond for being mentor mentee. Just like he's like, oh my gosh, you're not okay.
Yeah, but he's like, you did amazing. Like you were everything I could have hoped you'd be.
Well, he took out 4 baddies.
He did, and like these baddies are like All Might level baddies, pretty much.
Here's when I didn't get this guy's powers too much because the long hand and the short hand both make them slow down. So I wasn't sure what was going on.
I think it's intervals. It's like the long hand is shorter interval or longer interval. Yeah, I think it's just like how much slowed down they are. I think. I can't remember. Mariana says the plan threw me off a little bit. Token it twice, but it made sense in the end. Yeah. First time I saw it, or first time I read it, I was very confused. Like, oh, what's their plan? And then once you actually like learn it, you realize what it is. Like, you need all the pieces in their puzzle. Mm-hmm. It's a well thought out plan, especially because we get to see Mr. Compress again, but not actually Mr. Compress.
Mr. Compress.
And expendable version of Mr. Compress.
He might be expandable too. Who knows?
I think so. Yeah.
And then Aizawa like threw Deku off too. He's like, ah, this guy's coming out of nowhere. Aizawa slow is probably the worst thing that ever could happen to him. Because like his blinking, I didn't even think about it until it was actually happening. He's like, I can't stop it.
Yeah, when that was a funny thing too, because like I've seen this before, I've read it, and then when he got hit with the hand, I'm like, oh, but slowing down Aizawa, that's not going to stop it. And it's actually going to probably make him like have his eyes open longer, and there's nothing he could do, right? But like he was already kind of like mid blink, and all of a sudden that blink kind of like lasted way too long.
Mm-hmm. Oh God!
So he took the confession guy, right?
Yeah.
Loaded him and put him onto himself.
Yeah, like I don't know what anime or something that Overhaul watches, but these weird body things that he decided was going to happen was like it's a little out there, even for everything going on.
Yeah, horrifying.
Mm-hmm. And he just gets worse.
Yes, he does.
And like the mask like starts being like a mouth, and it's like, ugh.
Well, because he's able to rebuild himself however he sees fit. And so he's like, I'm going to keep wearing this mask, so I might as well make it a part of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Did we even see that it's like stitched onto his face now?
Mm-hmm. And this guy takes Aizawa because Overhaul wants the erasing quirks. So
it's a precious commodity to them.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that he's way too attractive for what he looks like. Chronostasis.
One of the other ones too is not like like he's like a normal person underneath too,
which bothers me a lot when it's like I wear this plague doctor mask and I'm hiding under a hood and blah blah blah. But no, I look like I'm gonna be a poster boy in this world.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be Yakuza, I guess.
Yeah,
he just keeps like tearing him a new one.
He's over jerk. You said it perfect.
So much so that Deku gets an open. I like that he uses the rocks too. It's very smart on his part because he won't be able to touch him. So it's very, very Deku too.
Very Deku. Deku being Deku.
Mm-hmm.
Protect himself.
This whole part of Night Eye and like him trying to fight Overhaul and still think about things and basically fight his inner demons about his own powers. It was way too much.
Yeah. A lot of self-doubt happening in this episode between almost every character that there is. A little bit on the villain side, not until the next episode, really, but the heroes totally doubted themselves a lot.
Yeah. And we got to kind of see his powers in action just because he said he was like every 1 second he kept activating it so that he could see 1 second ahead of time.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. Something.
I thought he wasn't able to activate it. I thought he activated.
I thought not either, but it was like, or else he was just reliving just the 1 second at a time.
I think what it was is he touched him. He got to see Overhaul, like Overhaul was who he was using, but every time we saw his eye go that way, he was replaying it so he knew what was coming next. Like, because he gets a full 24 hours. So we're actually just seeing him kind of play it out. Like, it's not that it's reactivating, it's like we're seeing it. I think Mariana nails it here. Being able to see the future has got to be the worst quirk ever. Totally. Because you know nothing. Like, I don't know if anyone else is watching The Nevers on HBO.
The Nevers, yeah. I thought of the same thing.
I love that show. I think it's really good. And True, her ability is very similar to Night Eye, where she just kind of like gets like a little brief scene of what's going to happen, knows no context. And all of a sudden she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to piece together all this stuff. Like, but this is what's going to happen. I'll just find myself in that scenario.
Everyone's gathered around like, oh, what did you see? What did you see? I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I saw like a red room. Oh, there you go. Totally. That show's it got really good. Like,
it's getting better.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yes, Mariana, new episode tomorrow. 2 left in the season. Oh, Night Eye.
Night Eye.
I think he just wasn't fast enough. I think that's what happened. It's like he could see it, but he just wasn't quite quick enough. I
actually think as he was playing it out, he saw what the end was, and he got shocked by seeing the end be the death of him and Deku, and Overhaul getting away, and that paused him for like half a second, and that half a second was all Overhaul needed to do this awful monstrosity. Like, how is that arm even still there? And that stab through the midsection, it's like, I think that'd be instant death, but he lives for way too long. Anime.
He's just awesome at period, so that's probably what part of it. And I think later on too, the Dragon Girl lady even says to like stabilize it because you can't pull it out, so maybe leaving it there helped.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Once you remove it, all those organs are just going to fly out.
Deku's just going to go all out right now too. No.
Yeah, Mariana nailed it. Yeah, when he got stabbed, I was like, it was brutal. So there's your 100%. Well, not 100. I think it's 20% is what destroyed his gloves at this point.
Yeah, he's just going all out. So it's like he has to.
Well, I love how like when he entered the fray quickly, like Overhaul was like, this kid, this is way more like speed and power than before. Like he recognizes like, oh, this kid's been holding back this whole time. Like, you know, I was able to take that, but this is different kind of deal. This broke me a little bit.
But this whole episode is just like a lot of sad and like build up to some other stuff happening in the next one. Yes. I'm kind of glad we did do 4 because this one would have been a sad one to end on.
100%.
Almost the Logan shot.
Yeah.
Like Deku pulling those out too. I was like, wow, go kid.
I mean, he's used to getting his bones broken constantly, so
I guess so.
Nothing, you know. But a flesh wound.
And then we get the flashbacks of Eri and like I think Overhaul's explaining everything at this point in time too.
I think so. I don't know if he's explaining it out loud or we're kind of getting his inner monologue.
Because everybody thought it was his daughter. I think Mirio was the one who just found out that it wasn't actually his child. And then,
yeah. I mean, it's just his master's granddaughter.
And
and this is when Overhaul uses his hand to call to Eri. And then she kind of like leaves Mirio behind and reappears because she doesn't want to see them hurt anymore. Mirio's bleeding and dying while carrying her out of there. She left Deku behind to basically die, and that's exactly what Overhaul's saying.
It's just the poor little girl too to actually think that this is going to be helpful, and she's even begging him. She's like, "We can make them all better again, and then we can go away." And he's not going to.
Yeah. I mean, he could make them all better again. You know he won't, but he could. And I think that's the promise, right? That's the abusive promise. Like, you know, you caused all this, but I can make it better. All you got to do is listen to everything I say. You know, come back, be more abused, and I'll make the other people better. It won't be your fault anymore. Kind of deal.
I like how even if she doesn't want to be saved, he's going to save her regardless. And then this is the end of this episode where we get everybody coming down.
All of a
Just when
sudden,
they
it's
can
like
die.
massive crash through. Yeah.
All out attack.
All out attack. So, favorite moment of this sad episode?
Just like, is there a favorite moment to have in this episode?
I mean, there's some cool stuff.
I guess Deku showing up in the end, like when you know that somebody else is going to come help them.
Well, actually, Deku showed up at the beginning of this episode.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh my
so
God, car alarms going off in my neighborhood. Constant.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have a favorite one in this one.
Yeah.
Wow,
It
abstaining.
was,
James?
it was kind of like a standard My Hero episode. I don't know. Nothing really stood out to me. It wasn't a bad episode. It was just,
I love this episode because it was like one of those, like Mariana said, like, I was pins and needles the whole time as well. It's kind of like, it's rough because we're watching that car alarm is going to drive me nuts. We're watching like Night Eye fight while believing in like Mirio, his like protege, is dying. He's going like above and beyond. He's going beyond. He's going plus ultra. And then all of a sudden, like he sees his own death, Deku's death. Like he sees all this horrible shit. Then it just happens to him. It's just like, yeah, I thought it was really powerful. Like I really liked the moments that happened, but it's hard to pick, like, as you said,
favorite. Yeah.
A favorite of the horrific nonsense that happened. But I mean, I liked, I mean, I guess if I had to pick something that I liked, like a moment that I thought was like upbeat and something I liked, was when Overhaul saw like Deku charging at him. He was like, oh, this kid's coming at me at like a faster speed with more power than before. Like recognizing that Deku has more in him than what he thought is a positive, I guess, in a sea of negative.
Yeah. I guess the moment with Mirio and Night Eye finally being like him being able to be there for Mirio and Mirio being able to be like, okay, Sir is here now. That's a good moment too.
Yeah. That's true.
It's one of those episodes that all anime has every other episode that is just like, this is the middle part. It's the glue that holds together all the awesome parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it's a lot of the tragedy before the big heroic, let's turn this shit around, right? So, hey, why not? Let's turn this shit around. Yeah, let's do it.
This guy's power, I didn't think was what it was until I watched this episode, by the way.
Yep. I forgot what it was, too. I just thought he was huge.
Yeah, I just thought he had, like, that was like the Hulk. Like, he just got bigger because he got angrier, like, something to that, like, but energy suction.
He absorbs it from around, and then if he has the drug, he can absorb it from people not touching him.
Yeah. And then, he starts, like, they think he's knocked out, and he's not. Obviously, the drug kicked in too late.
He's like Parasite from Superman, basically. Poor Poppy.
Froppy's like tired face is just hilarious. And like I thought Ochako was getting sick, and I realized she's just getting tired because she kind of. But Nejuri-chan, she's got it. She was like not getting tired whatsoever. She's definitely living up to being one of the big three.
Yeah, I think because of her ability is energy expenditure anyway. She might be like used to that kind of thing, and like she knows how to like, mitigate it. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure.
And then Deku's up there.
How is Deku up there? What's going on? What is this? We don't know.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you have to go over there. And then they figure out this crazy plan to get through the concrete, which was using the bad guy, and then Nejuri-chan's pushing it through as it's like, I think Ortaga's making it float, Froppy's throwing it down, and the dragon and everything's just pushing it all the way through.
All of them are using their ability together because Deku, not Deku, tells them exactly where the bad guy is in relation to where they are. And so, they hatch this plan without speaking to each other really about it. That using all of their quirks in concession to enable them to smash through the ground. Infinite, 100%. And we see the most horrific melting Deku.
Is it horrific though?
Yes. Yes, it is. I love her like go entropy instead of go beyond and plus chaos.
Plus
And
chaos.
she's like, am I right? Did I get it? Only hers.
And then like twice just starts talking to her. He's like, "Oh yeah, whatever you say." It's like, oh no, because Compress is during this time too, so they find him.
Yet, right?
Okay.
I think that doesn't happen until like because at that moment they're like, oh, maybe that's exactly when they spawned him. I don't remember exactly when in this episode.
They were carrying him around in a little compress ball.
Yeah, a little compress ball. That's how they got out of the tunnel. Basically, it was like compress.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, and they used him to make. I figured it out now. I'm like, how did compress powers dig a tunnel? But I guess it just eats all the rock and the little. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he's scooping stuff out.
Yeah, makes sense. This cape is like a character now by this point in time.
Now this is because Overhaul is expanding the ground upward, right? Like he's trying to like, escape out of the hole because he has Eerie on this platform with him, and they're raising each other up to the surface to basically escape. And Deku's running up, but this cape is like flowing upwards too, and Eerie sees the cape, and like that becomes like a catalyst really to kind of see a change in herself and kind of like remember what Mirio did for her.
And that they're not going to stop. They're all going to die regardless, so she might as well help them save her and be part of the solution.
Yeah. Oh, here's where we learned about the mutation. I thought this was last episode.
I think they use this still a lot, actually. The scene where he's talking to him.
Yeah, they do that.
This part was awful.
It's a very Resident Evil looking office.
Totally. Yeah, even that looks like the Umbrella Corps logo back there, but it's not. The Hasaki Group, is that what it's called?
Asai, I think.
Asai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Erie's quirk.
This
Yeah, he does a whole bunch of it. I love this. I love like she rewinds him to the point where it knocks the confession dude out and rebuilds him, basically. It's like,
without like even she barely taps him to go farther to jump away. And then, yeah.
And then we have the emotional music starts playing here.
I know, it was so cool. I forgot that happened.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like I remember that about the scene. I thought it happened in a different moment, but like it's this like as she's diving to him and he's like jumping up to catch her. Because she's like they're giving it their all. Like I want to like push for that future pretty much.
Yeah. It was funny because I was watching this in the living room and Devin's like, wow, Deku was mad about something because he could hear it from the kitchen while he was cleaning. And I was like, yeah, because there's like nothing going on but that like music and then him screaming Harry-chan, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Honor intensifies.
Mm-hmm.
I love this whole moment where Overhaul's shooting everything he's got basically at them, and Deku's, without knowing it, is using 100% of everything he has and just fucking lightnings himself out of there.
Yeah. He's using, it's crazy, and he doesn't realize how much he's going on because she's taking care of him.
Yep.
Nuts. This look too, though, because he wants him to win, but he feels like in his soul that he's not going to.
Well, he saw the future where he dies, and none of his future's ever been wrong. So he's just like, this is when he dies. All this is scripted. So this is when he's floating up in the air on his own, and he's like, what the hell happened? How did I get up here? So this is a moment I've rewound and rewatched numerous times. It's like the whole like flipping himself out of there and appearing up in the air and kind of floating there with Eerie for a while. It's like getting to kind of see Deku be the promise of Deku, right? Like getting to see what his ability that he got from All Might is, and like kind of how that comes to fruition. And we see it in the way of like, he is moving around where no one can see him anymore. He just kind of disappears, and like the whole room gets sucked out of that hole with him, pretty much, in a way. I loved Ochako's reaction to it too.
Well, about the learning that he was going to die and everything, like trying to figure out how to save him.
There's that, yeah, for sure. But it's also like she's like, "Where's Deku?" Because like he was right there. Yes, I know you want to talk the manga, Mariana. We're not talking the manga.
He was so worried about his whole plan, and now he doesn't know what to do.
Yep. Yeah. And this is when, Ochako learns about Midoriya's fate.
And I know that she like touches the ground, but I can't figure out if it helps him get up there or how the debris helps later on. So I remember she sends stuff up to him, but I can't remember why.
I don't know if she was trying to send stuff up to him. I can't remember actually. What? Because she basically she was using her ability to get them all out of there, but I can't remember what she was doing with the debris. Because you're right, she does send a couple of rocks floating.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So I remember it was the pieces that he ends up getting. No, because he gets up there just fine, and then
he doesn't use pieces of anything for anything.
Yeah, he uses Overhaul's craziness.
Yeah, Mariana nails it. Stuff was just floating, wasn't it?
Yeah,
stuff was just floating. Yeah. Overhaul with the oversimplistic solutions. Just got to break her apart and rebuild her. It's not
the only way he knows how to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the last slide too because like Ariel reminds me of like a unicorn. She's taking magical powers, like little dust stuff's coming off of her.
Oh yeah, totally.
She's super cute.
I love the fact that he uses Mirio's cape to tie them on and to tie her onto him. It's like, I'm going to use, your powers enabling me to use mine. So let's do this together.
Yeah, but I like that he secures her. He's not just going to let her hang on.
Oh yeah, no. Well, he's moving at like Mach 10. So like, yeah, she needs to hang on. Like, I don't even know if the cape is going to be enough. A cape made of Mirio's hair.
I know, that's what I wasn't thinking about.
I remember watching this the first time. I really wanted to recreate this in toy photography, but I never found the perfect little figure, like little girl figure.
There is a little girl. There's a perfect little Eerie. I follow somebody on Twitter that made a little Eerie-chan. There's like a little gacha box set that came out of all these guys, and one was like a Deku using full 100%, and it came with like a little backpack Eerie that's like perfect size for the 112, like any of the 112 Dekus. And then if you just take like a piece of red cloth and tie them on, it'll look perfect. So yeah, I need to find that as well. When I find it, I'll send it to you, James.
Okay. I was looking at like Dollar Tree and Walmart for like just little like kid Barbies or whatever.
Yeah. They make up perfect. Like she's perfectly sized, tiny little Eerie.
I don't have a Deku anymore either, so I'd have to get it again.
We'll move on. But we get to see Deku go 100%. So basically, he goes Super Saiyan here.
First Super Saiyan with just green hair. So.
Yep. Well, I mean, Super Saiyans come in all colors now, so.
Yeah. So, and then you have the monster spider, whatever the heck that Overhaul decided to turn himself into.
Overhaul took the big guy. So it was the big guy and the...
No, the other guy's gone. I think because Eerie took him away.
No, Eerie knocked him back, but I thought he like sucked them both into him to become this big, disgusting monstrosity. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Because like this is a lot of pulp.
Arms.
Yeah.
This is great. And then, Deku just kicks his ass, basically. It doesn't matter how big he is.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. This is nothing to Deku at this point when he's using it at full 100%. Like, it's cute that he tries to fight against him, but I also love the fact that he's not able to get, like, a move on Deku at all at using full power. And this is my favorite line of this whole series is the, dang, Izuku.
Yeah. It's just, especially from them, too, because they were like, oh.
Yeah. But it's
He's
just
perfect.
because it's Toga. It's because it's Toga. Toga, who has a crush on him, sees how like
Mhm.
actually powerful this kid is. Like, oh damn, kid! Like, didn't know you did it like that. What was that, James?
Sploosh.
Definitely a sploosh.
Oh, this is the boss talking in his head about him, about how he always takes it to extremes, which just seems to be the case in this whole entire episode. And it's just he's this mastermind, and he still can't. He can't get it. He can't get his plan to work, which
Yep.
I think is actually ironic because he told Tamura that since he didn't have a plan, that he was worse off.
Yep. Though he, I will say, Overhaul had a great plan. He just didn't plan for All Might, basically. Trying to plan for. He's playing in a world without All Might. Little does he know that there's a kid that has All Might's power that's going up against him. Because if it weren't for Deku at this point, he would have gone away, right?
Yeah.
It were for Eri and Deku together. It was like the perfect coincidence of those two coming together to allow Deku to use his full ability. Without that, his plan would have been fine. He had enough contingencies to get out of there, but you can't plan for in a world without All Might for All Might.
Mm-hmm.
Then this, I think Mariana nailed it. It's like this is what happens when you're a perfectionist and a control freak. It's gonna come spiraling out of control. That's just kind of how it happens.
This is just going through his actual plan, where he was going to make the serum that takes away quirks, and then the serum that cures it, and sell it to each side, so they can
Yep.
just fight it out. But then the Yakuza would get all the money and the glory.
I totally forgot what the screen was. I'm like, what anime is this?
Like Tekken 6 or something.
Yeah.
And then this is when the boss realizes that he's been hurting his own granddaughter this entire time, and it was like, wait, you're not realizing this is a person. You can't just take her and use her for whatever you want. And so,
But he does. Oh, I love this. This is so One Punch Man. It is perfect. I love this scene. I can replay over and over and over again. It's like the 100 fists coming from the sky, and then it's like this, and then all of a sudden it cuts to Overhaul, and you just see every hit like take a chunk out of him until like he's just tiny little Overhaul left.
I don't think he has limbs at that point in time.
Yeah. Oh, I love the eye close-ups too. This is my shit. This is 100%.
I told you most of these were just you can have them, because there was like, I think there was one where he's like laying down, you can see the entire like the eye from the side view, but I didn't grab that one. This one was pretty sweet.
This one's awesome. And then like, I don't know if you have the scene. Okay, yeah, it's in between these where it's like, I think that might be what you're talking about. When it's just like you get his eye, you get this crazy looking Deku grin, and it's a crazy eye like kind of slowly moving its way down, and it's a nuts screen to have on. And it's just like, wow, that looks terrifying. Not at all the symbol of peace. It's more the symbol of horror. Well done.
Especially with like Eri's feet, like her hair.
Oh yeah,
spiraling up the top. He just looks crazy.
This is the point that Mariana was talking about. This is the point where Night Eye realizes that everything has changed. It's like, wait, no, this is not how it's supposed to go.
It's almost like his whole life was a lie to this point then, because he's been trying to fight it.
Because instantly he thought about this and how everything was not the way how he saw it. And the next screen for him was what he saw with All Might. He's like, oh shit, when I saw all that stuff with All Might, like All Might could fight against that future. Maybe he did already and I just don't know.
I think it was just his smile, because he realized that All Might will still be around and he'll be okay.
That's the final screen of this episode. But we do see Deku touch down and knock him out of there, pretty much, or Overhaul out of consciousness. So, that's not the right thing. There we go. Definitely don't need more of me. We can always do this too.
Oh my god.
I know you hate that.
Sorry.
So, all right. Favorite moment of the final episode of our 4-episode series?
Toga and Twice team rocketing from behind the building.
It was great. That was very much a Team Rocket moment.
Yeah.
I love their argument with the fake Mr. Compress too, where they're like, "You're gonna go first. You're gonna go get Eerie because you're the clone. Like anything can happen to you. We're the real people." It's like, no, because I still feel like me pretty much. I don't want to go down there. Like I'm
Yeah.
still a person. Like no, even though I'm a mud person, I'm still a person.
And then I think he gets stepped on by the dragon.
Yeah, he gets killed real quick. He doesn't make it even halfway down there. It was great.
Because their whole plan was to take Eerie and then just run away.
Yep, because that's what they wanted. Steph, how about you?
This one had a lot. See, the last episode had like not really anything that you would favorite, but this one had a lot. Like I liked the teamwork with the girls and their new mentor for like getting down there and getting out to everybody. Kind of like Night Eye's whole interpretation of what's going on, and then just Deku kicking ass. It's like it's one big awesome thing.
So again, you're like the episode as a whole. I'll take that. Thank you.
I'm gonna cheat this episode.
I like Show.
I like Show. Yeah.
Show good. Show my favorite.
There's no Bakugo. Also, that would be the only thing I would do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking between the first moment where Deku gets to use his 100% and rocketing out of there, not realizing what the hell happened, and be like, "What the heck just happened?" Because that moment, because it's also playing with the beautiful music going on, and the scenery is so beautifully animated, and all of a sudden it's just like we see this like vanishing happen, or it's that 100 fist punch down from the heavens, and then Deku staring down. Yeah, just dealing the final blow. So for me, it's between those two. I think cool wise, I want to choose the final one, the moment with the punches. But story wise, I think I want to choose that like touching moment of Eerie jumping down, him catching her, and then them together rocketing the hell to safety. So I think I'll go with that just because it's like more of the impactful emotional moment. But that other moment where those fists are coming down and he's just like delivering the final blow is just cool as hell. I will say I expected, upon reading this, upon watching this, when Eerie rewinds his damage to his body that is being occurred, I thought his arm was going to come out without any of the scars, without any of the damage to the bones. I thought she was going to rewind his arm back to being pristine again, but that has not happened.
I'm wondering if she can only, I don't know, because
no, she could bring them back to like babies. Like she took those rats back to babies.
I was almost thinking that he's hurting himself faster than she can actually take care of it at some point in time.
He was doing that on purpose at a point, but I thought, Mariana agrees. Like I thought he was going to go all the way back too. Like I kept expecting that as being this is how they can show like he's damaging himself all this time, and like how that can end in like a good way. Like, all that is for naught now. We have a character that can excuse all that. But no, I mean, who knows? Maybe later on in the series we'll see that. But
I
don't know. Still powerful shit.
Yeah. Dang Izuku.
Dang! I should have named the goddamn episode "Dang Izuku." I really should have.
Could Hermione fix Harry Potter's scar?
No, because that's just a mechanical fix, right?
I don't know.
I thought it was just a fix to inanimate objects, not biological. Biology is different than plastic. I mean, I like Harry Potter the movies. I've never read the books, but based on what I saw and what she says, I believe it's like she says like glasses repairer, right? Like she actually says that.
Oculus repairer. Episky is the one where Luna fixes.
I'm hitting the wrong one.
Luna
There you
fixes his broken nose. Yeah.
So yes, she can fix broken bones, but who knows if she can fix the scar? But at that point,
now that I remember it, Luna does offer to fix the scar.
Oh, does she?
And she's just like, "Well, I think it makes you look a bit devil may care."
Oh, right. I actually remember that.
Devil May Cry featuring Dante.
You're very Nero in this. I like it. That's the edgier Dante. I'm sorry, not Dante proper. Good shit.
We made it.
Show good.
Show good. What we learned tonight is show good. take that one home with you. I don't know. So, Steph, are we here next week, or are we coming back in 2 weeks with 4 episodes?
I don't remember when's Memorial Day. I am so lost.
That is 3 weeks from now. So I will tell everybody on the stream now. Mariana, this is really just for you and James, since you're here. In Memorial Day weekend, I will be gone, and then the weekend after that, I am gone as well. I am traveling for those 2 weekends, so that means no show. So I think we're going to try to do an episode up until then.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, you cool? That's just 2 more weekends, I believe. And then so maybe we'll do. Should we do 3 and 3, or do you still want to do 4? Because you remember 4 this week and then 4 next week, and I thought I was giving you too much credit. I thought you had watched or like looked at the list and was like, these 4 episodes are set, and these 4 episodes are set. But now you're just saying, let's just get through 4.
Well, we missed so many. I was like, oh, we'll just do 4. And then when I finished watching it, I was like, oh man, I'm a genius. Didn't even know it. Perfect.
Well, when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, it's 4. Oh, 4 is going to just finish up the set. This is perfect. Yeah, no, that was a good plan.
Yeah, didn't even know.
And under 2 hours. So.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll discuss. I think we'll plan for 4. If we cut it down to 3, hey, we've already watched the extra one, so we're all good. James, that means you should actually watch the episodes for next week.
Yeah. Oh, I planned on it. It's frozen yogurt.
Oh, frozen yogurt, perfect.
What flavor?
Raspberry pomegranate.
Ooh, fruity.
With
like
pomegranate boba pearls and fruit, blueberries, strawberry.
I didn't know this. Wonder Festival was coming
I'm
back.
actually very excited now too.
Yeah, that's like, oh shit, that's when we got like a whole bunch of stuff last year. So yeah. Mariana, you're the best for remembering, like knowing all this stuff. Like she tempered my expectations because I didn't think I was going to get this gentleman this week, because she's like, oh, don't forget Golden Week. And I was like, no, but my Gojo and my Bakugo and my Frieza. But luckily I got my order in like apparently right before Golden Week started. But she's a wealth of the knowledge of everything that's going on over there. So I'm excited.
Mine will be here next week.
Yours will be here next week?
And none of them were underwater.
My Gohan was. My Gohan went for a swim, but he got here just fine. So props to the shipping crate manufacturers. They made an airtight shipping crate, because the shipper that he came in was not waterlogged like at all. Like it was like perfect. So good stuff.
Good.
Wait, really? What's the wait, really? What's that?
My stuff's gonna be here next week? I think so.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Paid for it. Better be.
It should be, yeah, because I think everybody who paid for it a little late that got their stuff, because like you and like I know a couple people as well, like are still waiting on that shipping confirmation. Oh, Gohan. Oh, she didn't know about Gohan. Yeah, there's that shipping crate. Well, there's a whole freighter that lost all of its cargo to the depths of the ocean due to a storm, and one of those crates were Tamashii Nations, like from Premium Bandai. Premium Bandai lost a whole like crate, so everybody who ordered like Gohan and Piccolo and a whole bunch of Gundams, all of that stuff got sent to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and it took them 4 months, I think, to retrieve it. 5 months.
They got it. That's a lot of.
Yes.
This is gonna sound really bad. There's a lot of pollution. Like there's a lot of plastic down to the bottom of the ocean.
Yep. Luckily, it was in a giant metal crate, so that nothing would have ever gotten through until it rusted like thousands of years from now. Not thousands. I don't know how long it takes to rust stuff, but
Bluefin, aptly named.
Yes, yeah, for real. Yeah, the Bluefin deep diving team went down there and rescued that crate, and finally shipped out everything. And after 5 months of delay, finally got my Gohan.
I honestly thought they were just going to remanufacture everything.
All of us who ordered that kept getting updates like every 3 weeks from them were like, dude, just make new ones. Like, come on. No, instead they're like, no, we're going to fish that stuff out and we're going to give you free shipping coupons, and that's all you get which I already used on the new Bulma. So
Previously on Dragon Ball Z, and it's just underwater.
yeah, oh yeah, just see a giant like angler fish swim by.
Right. It's gonna be a big box too. It's a bunch of random stuff.
Mine was a big box. It was good. I got a whole bunch.
My November order is ridiculous. So
Ooh,
it's
What
a
you got?
lot of it's a jujutsu scales and like a bunch of stuff. So
I don't think I have. I mean, I have my Kaneda 1/6 scale figure coming from them, but like other than that, it's like a figure a month, pretty much. Nothing like huge. No big like shipments coming.
I sent Elliot a message, bio. Or
Bio
him,
Jackson.
I
You
don't-
call,
yeah,
you call
yeah.
him Ellie? It's Eli. His name is Eli, right?
Is it not Elliot?
Elliot. Elliot, Eli.
Yeah, it's Eli. It's Elliot, but it's.
Oh, okay. I call him Elliot
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, I thought you said no. I thought you said Ellie. That's why I was like, it's not Ellie. The reason why I said that is like because my dog's name is Eli, as you guys
Mhm.
know. And every doctor calls him Ellie, and I'm like, no, his name is Eli, short, not short for Elliot, but it's like, it's yeah. So I thought you were calling him Ellie, and I'm like, no,
Do they
it's
call
not.
you Joel?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, it's
But
Elliot. You're right.
they're coming
Sorry.
up with Full Metal Alchemist. Came out with Greed. That's the Mega House one, and now they just came out with King Bradley, which is like the coolest thing on the planet.
I don't know if I know that character.
King Bradley's like the main, like top captain guy for the show.
Was he in the first?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
June and July.
Yeah.
Ami orders.
I'm wearing this shirt. My and I started ordering a lot of the Nendroids on there too because it's like it's a little easier if they don't have bonuses.
You might as well at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going to order my cap from because at this point it's like I think I just got Kageyama today, but like other than that, like he was supposed to come out like a month ago.
Mhm.
Everything's super delayed, but that's just the way of things. Oh well. All right, guys. I think we should end it. I'm going to go have dinner and do that stuff. James, thank you so much for finally joining us after 3 seasons of trying to get you on. No, well, like a season and a half.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hopping on. Appreciate you always tuning in and hanging out with us every Saturday night.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Steph, always a pleasure.
Mhm.
And everyone out there, have a plus ultra weekend. Or-
Plus chaos.
Plus,
Plus chaos.
go entropy plus